miss me, baby?
No, I didn't.
How much?
A lot.
We made a little bit more money. I thought maybe we could get married on Christmas Day.
Oh my God, I love that.
All we need is $1,000, maybe $1,500, and then we're over this hump, and then we could go back to business as usual.
Those are our new bed sheets.
It's a pillowcase.
But it's part of a set.
Cops aren't gonna care if we rip off some wise guys. All right, this is a robbery. You think I'm playing around here?
This movie, I loved it. It was great. And when you're watching it, you're kind of thinking, how much of this is actually real? Because it just seems too good to be true.
I think the easy answer to that is everything that seems unbelievable is true, and the stuff that seems sort of more normal, and we had to make that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I remember when it happened. Raymond, you had just heard about it by reading the script, but I grew up in that neighborhood, and I remember hearing about it in the newspapers, and then it kind of went away, and then I actually didn't know how it ended until I read the script.
Now, were you familiar actually with this story? Because watching this, we were watching it
No.
and we're amazed by it because it almost seems like it's not,
No, I wasn't.
like if it's made up.
Well, it's inspired by what really happened, but you know, when you write a screenplay, you have to invent things because you don't know what the you know what conversations Ray Romano's character had with the FBI guy. You don't. These are all things that you have to imagine, but the reality is that it's all inspired based on this true incident that happened in New York about this Bonnie and Clyde-esque couple who were robbing the social clubs. You know, so that's the jumping point. You know.
They used to humiliate my father every day. A bunch of greasy old guys coasting on their reputations.
All the cash inside. Come on.
They're gonna kill him.
I want everyone to strip.
What?
Go! Go!
30 years I've been doing this. I'm looking at the picture and I don't believe it.
They got something that's gonna help us take down Big Al and put the final nail in the coffin of the whole mob.
What'd I get?
A list.
This is the family tree. This is the entire Vazzalo family. You know what the feds would do for this?
Who gave it up?
Joey D. He had it in his wallet when the kid jacked him.
He had it in his wallet?
Ray, we're used to seeing you do, sitcoms, live audiences. Is this a different experience for you, doing something dramatic, I guess, and independent?
It's different, but that's what I've been trying to do since, Raymond went off the air almost 10 years ago. So I've been trying to do the single camera. I loved what Raymond was, but now I'm drawn to this single camera and yes, not having to be big and to play everything, to let it internally read, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why I was drawn to this when this came along.
So Andy, we're actually used to seeing you play a mobster, and we actually enjoy you playing a mobster. But this time around, you actually play a different one because it's a mobster with a heart, with a good heart. How did you approach him?
Well, I mean, just because they're mobsters doesn't mean they have good hearts. They have they have to have, I guess, two faces in order to survive, in a way. But they're human beings, They have families, they have love interests, they have kids, they have sons and daughters and grandsons, and so, that's kind of the element of that Raymond and I wanted to explore.
You've been around journalists your whole life, I guess. I mean, did you kind of pull from, I guess us in a sense,
Well, that's what I played in Raymond. Also, I played a sports writer. Well, he's a composite of a bunch of guys that were those crime reporters, and then I just kind of invented a guy, and I've been around guys enough, but it all boils down to, he's a guy who's just searching, at a point in his career where he's kind of searching for what's the next thing, and this couple becomes the next thing for him.
Whose club is this? It's my club today.
What's Tommy like?
Oh, super handsome. He's just like a genius.
A little bit more exposed than you should be. I think you guys got to get out of the country.
Unity is the only solution in times of crisis.
No one's getting hurt. Was it really a crime?
You get me that list at all costs!
I wrote this because of you. You got to do something for these kids.
Get out there and bring them in! They're done!
In the history of crime, few have been so
foolhardy as the striking young woman and her Uzi-waving partner. Queen's own Bonnie and Clyde.
It's good, right?